This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2016, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Killmore by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided in the description below. Killmore, Book 1 of the 2-book series. Read to you by the author. Chapter 26, Aiden. Despite her protest, I hop in the truck with Laurie to head to the cafe. I threatened that I'd just follow, so she let me join her and the dogs. I'm plotting to be seen with her and to get her to come back later, and hopefully stay. "Hi, Aiden," Trudy greets from the sidewalk. "Hi," I return with a smile. "Good to see ya," she adds. "Thanks, you too," I say. "Is the fire still going?" Laurie checks as she shifts past a few patrons on the curb. "No," Trudy confirms. "Sam was able to put it out pretty quickly with the extinguisher. The firemen are taking a look right now." I follow Laurie and Trudy into the building, and there are several firefighters and 2 deputies at the door between the eating area and the kitchen. "Hey, Laurie," one of the deputies greets. "Hey, Hank," she sighs. "Thanks for coming. How's the damage?" "Not too bad," Hank shares. "Looks like it might have been a faulty wire." "How old is the unit?" "They're just 2 years old," Laurie states. "You've got insurance on the appliance?" Hank checks. "Of course," Laurie confirms. "It should be an easy claim then," Hank informs. "I already put a call into both the insurance company and the supplier we bought it from," Trudy comments. "They're already sending a new one and said they won't charge us right away as long as we send them the report from the insurance adjuster. I'll add in the fire report too, just in case." "Great, thanks," Laurie returns. "Let's make sure everyone who is dining knows that their meal is on us. For those leaving, we can pack up their meals to go and finish cooking for those who ordered and want to stay after we air out the smell and get things back up and running." "Sounds good, boss," Trudy answers. "Just let me know what you ladies need help with and I'll do it," I offer. "Thanks, but we're good," Laurie replies quickly. "That's so sweet of you," Trudy comments. "I'm sure we'll need an extra set of hands. Right, Laurie?" "Fine," Laurie sighs. 5 minutes later, the fire department and police leave and the staff re-enter the building. Trudy and I help gather up everyone who's been waiting patiently outside, and Laurie makes the announcement that she's covering their meals for the inconvenience. In just 10 minutes, the cafe appears to be back to normal, other than a little residual stench from the fire and 2 missing employees who are out sick. The front and back doors are both open to air out the place while everyone resumes their meals. Anyone who had just received a meal prior to the incident or had just started eating receive a newly prepared plate. I assist the staff with delivering the meals while Trudy runs the line and Laurie checks on every customer. As quiet of a person as Laurie is, she does really well schmoozing the clientele, making a number of them laugh. The entire staff, including Laurie, make sure that everyone is well taken care of beyond the dinner hour since the place is busy from the moment they could file back inside until almost 8 in the evening. None of them take a break for themselves, even after preparing some food to be delivered to the fire and police departments. Trudy's boys even come into the restaurant not long after I heard Trudy talking to one of them on the phone. They assist with a few things too while the place is busy. "Hey, Aiden," Trudy calls from the kitchen doorway as I carry a tub full of dirty dishes from bussing tables. "What's up?" I inquire. "I know that you haven't eaten and the whole kitchen staff and I have cooked something for everyone," she informs. "Once you're done with them, let me know." "Great, thanks," I return, suddenly feeling really hungry. 10 minutes later, I check in with Trudy in the kitchen. "Do you guys need anything back here?" "No, thanks though," Trudy replies. "You ready to eat?" "Definitely," I confirm. "Great," she says. "Hey, Laurie!" "Hey, what?" Laurie's voice returns from somewhere in the kitchen. "Get your ass in here," Trudy calls. "Why?" Laurie replies with a sarcastic attitude. "Don't argue with me," Trudy directs. "What?" Laurie asks, popping her head out from a doorway off to the left. "Time to eat," Trudy informs. "Did everyone else eat?" Laurie inquires. "Everyone but Aiden," Trudy answers with a grin. Laurie eyes Trudy and then me. "I had nothing to do with it," I comment. "I swear." "He was bussing tables," Trudy explains, "and neither of you have eaten, so there's a table set up for you 2 out back." Laurie mumbles something under her breath as she ducks back inside the room I'm guessing is the office. "Don't you sass me," Trudy says. "Get your ass out here and eat." "Is this typical for her?" I ask when Laurie doesn't come out. "Not eating until everyone else has? Yes. For being a pain in the ass? Yes," Trudy agrees. "You like my ass," Laurie's voice goads from inside the office. "Who, me or Aiden?" Trudy teases. Laurie remains quiet while some of the kitchen staff snicker. For as hard of an exterior she has, she puts the needs of most people before her own, Trudy states. I nod.
Laurie, Trudy calls. Don't make me count. I'll come in there with a spatula and whip your ass. You'd like it, Laurie challenges. Yeah, Trudy laughs. So would you. All right, Laurie returns with a whine. Give me a fucking minute. That's my girl, Trudy laughs. She looks to me. You can go see her. You sure? I check nervously. Yeah, she confirms. You're good. As casually as I can, I walk toward the door where I last saw Laurie. Hey, I greet when I see her and the dogs. Kane and Mabel are excited to see me, so I kneel down to pet them. What? Laurie snaps with a hint of playfulness. I think she was serious about the spatula thing, I mention. Which part? Laurie returns with a smirk. Is she flirting with me again? All of it, I tease. I bet you'd like to help, too, Laurie goads. Only if you want me to, I return, stepping closer to her. She finally turns to look at me, and I'm able to get a peek of her eyes since she's sitting. I take her glasses off and put them on the table. I had them on for a reason, she states. And I took them off for a reason, I counter. Laurie stands, and we're only a few feet apart. My right hand extends forward, snatching the edge of her shirt. I guide her toward me, and she hesitantly follows, trying to maintain at least a few inches between us. Time for dinner, I comment. Is this our second date? She asks quietly as she looks over my shoulder. I look behind me to see if there's anyone in the kitchen that can hear us. If you want it to be, I reply. Looks like you're walking home tonight, she says. I don't mind, I reply, taking a hold of her hips. It would be worth it. Plus, it's not that far of a walk. No, she inspects. No, I confirm. Or, if the date is good, you could offer to take me home. No, Laurie denies. I laugh and move closer to her. Your food's going to get cold, Trudy announces from the doorway. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you two were having a moment. We're not, Laurie lies, sidestepping away from me and heading out of the office. I take a few controlled deep breaths, not wanting anyone to see my arousal when I leave the room. You comin'? Trudy searches. I snicker under my breath at the sexual innuendo that pops into my head. Yeah, I sigh, taking an extra second to compose myself. Trudy leads me out the back of the kitchen to an open area that is surrounded by a fence. There are 3 patio tables, each with an umbrella, and 4 chairs around them. I'm guessing the staff uses them for break time. Laurie is already sitting and placing a napkin over her lap. What the hell do you think you're doing? Trudy scolds. Laurie's hand pauses in midair as she's about to take her first bite. What? You're on a date, Trudy informs. You need to wait for your date to join you before you start eating. A meal back here is not a date, Laurie playfully challenges. Trudy takes a few steps toward the back door and hits a switch that turns off all the lights. Well, how the hell are we supposed to eat in the dark? Laurie quips. Suddenly, new, softer lights are on that are strung along the top of the fence and the underparts of the umbrellas. To me, it's definitely some planned mood lighting. Where the hell did the lights come from? Laurie quips. Does it really matter? Trudy returns with her home bit of sass. I can't help but laugh at their banter. They sound like sisters. Yes, Laurie complains. Shut up and enjoy the food, Trudy directs. When you two are ready for dessert, let me know. There's dessert, Laurie says with interest. Only if you're good, Trudy teases. When am I not good? Laurie checks. Trudy laughs. Always. Trudy looks to me. Go and eat. She's going to start without you if you don't hurry. In 5 giant strides, I'm standing next to the empty chair across from Laurie. May I inquire. Well, hurry up, Laurie directs. I'm fucking hungry. I scratch the dogs' heads after I take my seat. Laurie doesn't wait for me to get my napkin in place and already has her first mouthful of food. She groans satisfaction, and all I can do is stare at her. What? Laurie asks as she chews. Nothing, I let out on a strained breath. What? She repeats. Take another bite and moaning again. Nothing, I deny. Oh, for the love of God, just tell me, she says, wiping her mouth. No, I answer, taking my first bite of steak. Laurie studies me for a second and then tosses her napkin on the table. Tell me, or else neither of us are going to eat. I stuff my mouth with another round, not wanting to tell her, and because the food tastes that good, and I'm really hungry. Shaking my head, I finally say, no. Laurie snatches my plate as I wipe my mouth after my 3rd helping. Tell me, or else the dogs will eat your dinner. You wouldn't, I challenge. Try me, she suggests. Fine, I reply. You groaned. So, Laurie says, hesitantly returning my plate back in front of me. I raise my brow. More than once. So, she repeats, lifting her fork to take a bite. It sounded sexual, I reveal. Laurie's hand pauses just in front of her opened mouth. No, it wasn't. It definitely was, I counter. A definite smirk pops onto her face. You look beautiful under the lights, I randomly blurt. Her smile fades, and all I can think about is how I'm not hungry for food anymore, but rather hungry for her. If I don't get some relief soon, she is going to be, one hell of a distraction. Is that so? She replies. Yes, I admit. What's that look in your eye? She asks after a few seconds of silence as we continue eating. What look? I say. Nothing, she returns. The rest of our meal is pretty much quiet until Trudy brings us dessert. I swear Laurie purposefully moans a few times while we have our blueberry pie a la mode. My suspicions are confirmed when she giggles after the third time and leaves her spoon hanging out of her mouth a few extra seconds, fully aware that I'm watching her. Trudy makes us leave the restaurant after our meal, so Laurie grabs her bag from the office and we exit out the front door. We both say goodnight to the staff as well as Marcus and Jacob, who are hanging out at a table doing homework. Right as we're halfway down the bar, Dr. Cody walks into the place. Hey, Laurie, he greets with a smile. Laurie looks a little annoyed to see him, which makes me excited. I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, my ego just got a massive boost from watching her expression for him turn into that of almost distaste. Hi, Laurie greets. Hey, Doc, I say, offering my hand. He looks at my hand and is hesitant to take it. I notice that he shakes it when he catches Laurie glaring at him. Good to see you, Cody chokes out. You too, I return. We're just leaving, Laurie informs. I heard about what happened. Are you all right? Cody inquires. Fine, Laurie replies. But we weren't here and the rest of the staff are fine too. Good, Cody answers. I'm glad to know everyone is okay. I had a busy day at the office. Did you want to get something to eat? No, Laurie returns. Aiden and I just ate and now I'm taking him home. Cody looks back and forth between Laurie and me a few times. Why are you taking him home? Not that it's any of your business, but we came together, Laurie announces. Oh, Cody sighs with disappointment. Surprisingly, Laurie reaches down and takes my hand. Trudy and the staff can make you whatever you want. Have a good one. Oh, okay, Cody mumbles as Laurie walks past him with me in tow. Laurie's hand stays connected to mine the whole time as we make our way to our truck that is parked about 10 spots away from the restaurant. As if on autopilot, Laurie heads straight for the driver's side and doesn't let go of my hand until she reaches to open the door for the dogs. Sorry, she says, almost seeming a little insecure. About what? I check. She has a look like she doesn't want to have to explain. I step closer, wedging her between my body and the truck. Do you think he's watching? Probably, she replies. To respect the guy enough, I kiss Laurie's forehead and then gesture for her to hop into the truck. Then I make my way around to the passenger side and get in. Once I'm buckled, Laurie backs out into the road and heads for my house. Thanks for the extra pie, I say once I'm standing just outside her truck on the driver's side. I know that Paul will be excited to have some too. I place the bag of food on the hood of the truck and yank open her door. What are you doing? She whispers, not wanting to be heard. Saying goodnight, I answer, reaching across her lap and taking off her seatbelt. You already said goodnight, she reminds, fighting me as I lift her out of the vehicle. I want to say goodnight the right way, I inform her as I press myself against her. And how is that? She inspects. I'd rather show you pics, I reply. Pics? Yes, I say. That's your nickname. Why? She says, trying to hide a giggle. Because that's what you are, I say. You looked like one tonight when we had dinner as the lights twinkled around you. That sounds cheesy, she laughs. You'd like it, I challenge. Do not, she objects. My face stops an inch from hers. Yes, you do. I press my lips to hers and she doesn't turn away. Instead, I feel her hands grip my shirt at my waist. One of her hands slides up my chest and a low groan rises inside me. Her hand suddenly stops and her head jerks away after it tongues me a second time. Now you need to come up with a nickname for me, I inform her. Why? Because you've got one, and it'll be more believable, I state. How about asshole? She replies with a snarky attitude. No, I argue. Laurie laughs. What? I ask. I've got one, she says. Care to tell me? I inquire. No, she refuses. Please, I return. You have to do a lot more begging than that to get me to share, she returns with a confident grin. How much begging? I peruse. A lot, she informs. My mouth smashes against hers, desperate to taste her and wanting her to know I want more. Unable to control myself, one of my hands grips her behind her head while the other reaches under her shirt, desperate to have less of a barrier between us. I press my groin into her more firmly and am met with her moaning into my mouth. I kiss her with need, all while trying to keep it in check. I want you, I confess. Real Aiden or fake Aiden, she mumbles. I don't dare answer, fearful that if she knew the truth and gave me any indication that she has any hint of desire for me, that I won't be able to control myself any longer. I should go, she comments. My forehead bobs against hers. Good night, Aiden, her sweet, sexy voice bids. Good night, Pix, I reply.
This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link in the description as well. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.